You're watching Bucs Breakdown presented by Prize Picks. My name is Reid Bartkus. Wherever you're watching, whenever you're watching, hope you're having a great day today. Speaking of today, ESPN came out with their QB rankings ahead of the 2026 season. And it was ESPN again. And I know you probably saw that logo and you're like, we're talking about ESPN again? It's because, yes, they are once again sleeping on Baker Mayfield. But we'll get to that in a second. So, you're watching Bucs Breakdown with me, Reid Bartkus. Thank you for watching. ESPN released their annual QB rankings where they do the top 10 QBs heading into the 2026 season, or I guess the next season. So, it's from execs, coaches, scouts. They all ranked the top NFL quarterbacks for 2026. So, where did Baker Mayfield land, right? That's what we're going to be talking about on today's show. But before we get to like the rankings, let's push away ESPN. Let's push away anything else. I want to ask you, if you think Baker Mayfield is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL right now, like the video. I want to see how many likes we can get on today's show, because that shows me that you like the show and you like Baker Mayfield and you think he is a top 10 quarterback. Now, if you don't think he's a top 10 quarterback, comment down below why. Maybe it's because of the injuries. Maybe he's inconsistent, stuff like that. So if you do think so, let me like the video on today's show. Can we get over 100 likes at least? Maybe? I believe in Baker Mayfield. Let me know if you do. All right, let's see where the ESPN rankings went. Josh Allen, number 1. Patrick Mahomes, number 2. That seems pretty fair. Matthew Stafford, reigning MVP at number 3. Joe Burrow, number 4. Lamar Jackson, number 5. Dak Prescott at number 6. Herbert at 7. Drake Maye at 8. Jared Goff at 9. And Caleb Williams at number 10. Once again, ESPN is sleeping on the Bucs and especially Baker Mayfield. He did not crack the top 10 NFL quarterbacks heading into the 2026 season. Now, they did do honorable mentions of, let's see who got some votes. You know, we're right there at the cusp. These were the guys: Sam Darnold, Jaden Daniels, Jordan Love, Brock Purdy. We have not seen Baker Mayfield's name yet. Here he is. Another honorable mention here with Baker Mayfield, Trevor Lawrence, and Jalen Hurts. First of all, Jalen Hurts should be sneaking into the top 10 in some of these lists, as well as Baker Mayfield. I don't know about you guys. Baker Mayfield is a fantastic quarterback when he's healthy. Now, last year, obviously, he still played all 17 games, but we know that he was dealing with some injuries. And last year in 2024, I guess last year is 2025, but in 2024, he had the best year of his career, throwing for 41 touchdowns, and then he had a down year, and everyone forgets how good he is because, thank you to Rick Stroud, I mean, if you're watching the QB documentary with Baker Mayfield in it, it's actually really, really sick. You guys should go check that out. But he said in the series that he played with a sprained MCL, PCL since week 2. He also had bad biceps contusion that was bruised and affected his velocity. Then the shoulder injury versus the Rams. Bonus for toughness, but it affected his play. And Devontae David also said he was playing with a lot more. So do we forget that Baker Mayfield is a fantastic and really good NFL quarterback just because he had a down year because he was dealing with a ton of stuff? It's a lot of recency bias. What have you done for me lately type of league? I get that, but why are guys like Dak Prescott still getting top 6 in the NFL when last year and the year before that, he can't play a full season? Like, I don't know. It feels a little bit skewed just because Baker is Baker. I don't know. But I feel like if Baker stays healthy, he can be a very, very good quarterback and reaching those top 10 types of rankings. Now, Prize Picks, question of the day. Shout out to Prize Picks, our sponsor of today's show. If Baker Mayfield stays healthy, will he have more or less than 3,499.5 passing yards? While you guys answer that question in the comments section, make sure to click the link to join our friends at Prize Picks. Today's show is presented by Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks app, as well as mine. The World Cup is coming to a close, but you can still get in on the action with a couple games left. Now, Don't miss out on the deal that we have going on. Prize Picks is a great way to watch sports and win money at the same time, which is why I've been using it actually since 2022. The app is super simple to use. Just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. With the new social feeds feature, you can follow me in the app at Reid Bartkus to check out all my lineups. One lineup that I've always been showing on this show is my season-long Prize Picks lineup with Baker Mayfield in it. Now, you can see right here, I did this back like a couple months ago because I was itching for some football. I have him at 3,524 and a half passing yards. So once again, Prize Picks is even sleeping on Baker Mayfield. So make sure to go get your lineup in right now if you want to go for Baker Mayfield because it is lowered now. So Prize Picks has an offer for new users. Download the app today with the link in the comments and description and use code HMA. You'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Don't forget, for the people in the back, that's code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right, we have a brand new offensive coordinator in Zach Robinson. Now, a lot of people, when he got hired, and I guess towards the end of last season, everyone was sort of low on Zach Robinson only because he was with the Falcons and they ran a lot of pistol and Michael Penix was not doing well. Kirk Cousins finished off the season 4-0. So what can you say about Zach Robinson? I think he has to prove himself a little bit in Tampa Bay, but he spent most of his coaching career on the Rams with Sean McVay and was the pass game coordinator and QB's coach when Liam Cohen was the OC in 2022. I've talked about this a lot on this show. I've showed this exact graphic a ton of times. So if you look back to 2024, you can see that Liam Cohen's offense is very similar to Zach Robinson's offense, and Baker Mayfield had a fantastic 2024 season. So when you look at the weapons that the Bucs have, obviously, no more Mike Evans, blah, blah, blah. Yes, he's in San Francisco wearing number 5. Doesn't look as good as 13. But Emeka Egbuka is going to step up as your wide receiver 1. Bucky Irving, he's going to come back from injury, and he's already on a great path to come back and produce. Chris Godwin, he's feeling really, really great. Baker Mayfield even said he's back to the Chris Godwin that we know. Kenneth Gainwell was a great addition in free agency to enhance that backfield and give a receiving threat to Baker Mayfield out of the backfield. And Jalen McMillan coming back for a full season ahead of him. I think Baker Mayfield is poised for a great season because he's got a lot of weapons still. There's no looming Mike Evans, got to get him targets type of thing. I know he wasn't that type of player, but it's always looming in the back of the head. Like you can always go to Mike Evans. I think this spreads out the offense a little bit more, and it's going to be interesting to see what the offense will look like, but I'm glad we have a new OC that is familiar with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield written off on him to say, yes, come on in, I'm ready to work with you, and I think it's going to be great. Now, also, shout out to our coworker, Jeremy Chuggs. He put out a spreadsheet for everyone at Chat Sports. We have about 46 of us here to do your QB rankings heading into 2026. And let's see what they had to say. Because ESPN is one thing, right? How about normal people working in a sports company just talking about sports, Chat Sports. We chat about sports all day long. So we ranked the top 40 QBs, best to worst. Baker Mayfield was 16th on this list. Let's check where everyone had everyone else. Now, this is actually very, very similar to the ESPN, right? This is Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Drake Maye, and Dak Prescott flip spots. Justin Herbert's at number 8. Sam Darnold squeaks in to number 9. And Caleb Williams there at number 10. And then Jordan Love at number 11. Jared Goff, Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy, Jalen Hurts at 15. And Baker Mayfield gets in there at 16. If you guys want to just take a look at the rest of the rankings that we have on here. Jackson Dart at 22 is an interesting one. Daniel Jones actually going 24 is funny because right before is his former team in Kyler Murray and the Minnesota Vikings. Tyler Shuck at 26. And then Kirk Cousins heading over to Las Vegas is at 28. and then we'll round out the rest of the list. And you guys can just kind of take a look because I don't know about you guys, but Michael Penix at 34 is actually hilarious, and Tua didn't even make the list. So, I mean, after last season, 16th makes sense. I understand that people are going to be down on Baker Mayfield because of what he did last season, and it wasn't as good as 2024. Obviously, when you're up here and you go back down here, everyone's like, done with you. What have you done for me lately? I said that before in the show. But do I agree? No, not at all. I don't agree with the fact that people are pushing away Baker Mayfield because he had one bad season. A lot of those players in the top 10. Also, first of all, no shade to him at all. Caleb Williams at number 10, I think that's a stretch. Yes, he had a very good season last year, but he still has a lot to prove. And I think if you ask any Bears fan right now, Caleb Williams still has a lot to prove. Baker Mayfield has proved himself already. And just because he had a down year last year doesn't mean that he's all of a sudden out of top 15. I don't know. That's my take. So change my mind. A healthy Baker Mayfield is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Go in the comments right now, change my mind. If you're not a Bucs fan watching this right now, thank you so much for watching to the end of today's show. But change my mind. I think a lot of Bucs fans right now want Baker Mayfield as the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the foreseeable future. Because if he's healthy, he's a top 10 quarterback. I guarantee you. Now, a question to ask, though, is does this ESPN ranking affect his extension, right? We're in extension talks. I try not to talk about that a ton on this show because there's no update. They're trying to get close. They're not close. We'll wait till training camp. Training camp is in a couple days now, like I guess a week or so. And so as soon as training camp's done, it's all ball. So if he doesn't get this, he's going to play on the last year of his contract, and then what, right? I've showed this projection before. I think it's a 3-year, $165 million, $55 million a year. This is before the start of the 2026 season because $55 million, that puts you in the top 10 highest paid quarterbacks, right? And if he is a healthy quarterback, he is a top 10 quarterback. So that would make sense, right? Top 10 money, top 10 quarterback. But I think they're trying to come to an agreement. Maybe Baker Mayfield is not on the same agreement as 55. Maybe he wants a little bit more. And the Bucs are like, well, you got to prove that you can stay healthy and play the full season, which I think is what is the butting heads right now. Now, I understand that and I agree with that, but like if they don't get a deal done, he's going to ball out. Like we know who Baker Mayfield is, the type of guy and the type of player he is. As soon as he gets that chip on his shoulder, look out the rest of the NFL because he's going to play a lot better because he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. He's going to be wanting to prove himself, and he's going to want to like earn that contract. So they don't get a deal done, the price will go up because, like I was saying, $55 million a year, that is top 10 money, but it's not the most you can get because the quarterback market is going to go up with the 2024 draft class with Caleb Williams, Drake Maye, Bo Nix, all of them. They're all, even Jaden Daniels, they're all going to get more than $55 million a year. So I think Baker Mayfield knows that, so he's using that to his advantage. So the price will go up. So I think you want to get a deal done before the season starts because if we know Baker Mayfield with that chip on his shoulder, he's going to have a great 2026 season with that new offense and new OC and still great weapons. So it comes to this question. If you want to keep Baker Mayfield as the Bucs quarterback, like today's video, I asked in the beginning of the show if you think he's a top 10 quarterback, like the video. But if you just want him as the Bucs quarterback for the foreseeable future, hit that like button. If you actually didn't like today's show, you don't have to hit the like button. It's okay. You can just yell at me in the comment section. All right. If you want to yell at me even more or talk to me more about Bucs football, make sure to go on X and follow me, Reid_Bartkus. I tweet all my videos out, and I'll be tweeting about, Bucs and everything. And if you want to send me a DM about how you're feeling or if you have any, comments or thoughts on what I do on today's show. This show's all about you guys, trying to give you guys the best content. So give me a follow over there. And as always, fire the cannons. Oh my God.